Okay, for this problem, I went ahead and rewrote it so that we had a little bit more room. But here we have another problem where we have to rationalize the denominator. And how you're going to know that you have to use the conjugate is if you have two terms. If you have a binomial here in the denominator and one of them has, or both of them, either one, could have a radical in it. That tells us then that we have no choice but to multiply by the conjugate. The conjugate here in this case would be 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 square roots of 2. Now we can do that as long as we do it to the top so that we're technically just multiplying by a big old 1. Okay, so as we multiply this through, I tell you what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm not going to distribute this numerator through. I'm just going to leave it as 18 times 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 square roots of 2, because I have a feeling that something may cancel later, so otherwise I'd have to pull out that common factor at the end anyway. Okay, what I'm concerned about here is this denominator. Now, we could go ahead and just multiply, distributing the 2 square roots of 3, and then distributing the 3 square roots of 2, and then combining like terms and all of that business. We could do that. Because in the last section we learned that really all we have to do is just multiply it out and then simplify and collect like terms. We don't have to really remember a bunch of fancy stuff. Now, hopefully, though, you've gotten familiar and comfortable with multiplying, and now we can hopefully take a little bit of shortcuts. So, we multiplied this by the conjugate on purpose. We did it for a specific reason, so that we would have a difference of squares and our roots would disappear. So let's go ahead and take advantage of that. When we multiply here, we're going to multiply the 2 square roots of 3 times the 2 square roots of 3. Well, 2 times 2 would be 4, and the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 would just be 3. Now let's go ahead and multiply our last terms. Our sign will be negative because remember this is a difference of two squares. And 3 square roots of 2 times 3 square roots of 2 would be 9 times the square root of 4, which is 2. So by multiplying by the conjugate, we forced this to happen. Okay, now let's simplify a little bit further. Here we have 18 times 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 square roots of 2 over, this would be 12 minus 18, and we still have to keep simplifying. So we have 18 times 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 square roots of 2 over, this would be a negative 6. Now, negative 6 will divide into 18, so we can actually go ahead and do some canceling here at this point. Negative 6 goes into positive 18 negative 3 times. So now we have negative 3 times 2 square roots of 3 minus 3 square roots of 2. You can either leave it like that, or we could even distribute that out, but there's really not anything else that we can do there. So make sure when you're multiplying by the conjugate that you're doing it, with purpose, and then you can go ahead and take this little shortcut to clean up that denominator a little bit easier.